The air was thick with the acrid smell of burning fuel and the metallic tang of blood. The battlefield was a graveyard of shattered war machines and broken bodies, a testament to the brutality of the Galactic Dominion's conquest. Amid the chaos, a lone figure stumbled through the wreckage, her breath ragged, her body battered but unbroken. Her name was Kaela, a human soldier, one of the last of her kind still fighting against the Dominion's relentless advance. Kaela's unit had been wiped out hours ago, their defiance crushed under the Dominion's superior firepower. She had survived by sheer luck, or perhaps by the universe's cruel sense of irony. Now, she was alone, her calm silent, her weapons nearly depleted. Her only goal was to reach the extraction point, a faint hope in a sea of despair. But the Dominion wasn't done with her yet. The sound of heavy boots crunching on debris made her freeze. She ducked behind the smoldering remains of a tank, her heart pounding in her chest. Peering through the smoke, she saw them, a squad of Dominion soldiers, their sleek black armor glinting in the firelight. They moved with precision, scanning the area for survivors. Kaela clenched her teeth, her grip tightening on her rifle. She had one magazine left. If they found her, it would be over. She waited, her body coiled like a spring, as the soldiers drew closer. Just as one of them turned toward her hiding spot, a deafening explosion rocked the battlefield. The soldiers scattered, their formation breaking as they sought cover. Kaela didn't hesitate. She bolted from her hiding place, sprinting through the chaos, her legs burning with exertion. She didn't get far. A sharp pain shot through her side as a stun round struck her, sending her crashing to the ground. Her vision blurred, her body refusing to obey her commands. She tried to crawl, to fight, but it was no use. The Dominion soldiers surrounded her, their weapons trained on her prone form. "Human," one of them sneered, his voice distorted by his helmet. "You're more resilient than we expected, but your fight ends here." Kaela glared up at him, her defiance burning in her eyes. "Go to hell," she spat. The soldier raised his weapon, preparing to deliver the killing blow. But before he could pull the trigger, a shot rang out, and his helmet shattered. He crumpled to the ground, lifeless. The other soldiers turned, their weapons raised, but they were too slow. A barrage of gunfire cut them down, their bodies falling like puppets with their strings cut. Kaela blinked, her mind struggling to process what had just happened. Through the haze, she saw a figure approaching, their silhouette outlined by the flames. As they drew closer, she realized it wasn't a human. It was a Xal'thari, one of the Dominion's own. The Xal'thari were a reptilian species, their scales ranging from deep green to shimmering blue. They were known for their loyalty to the Dominion, their warriors feared across the galaxy. But this one was different. His armor was mismatched, his weapon a patchwork of scavenged parts. And his eyes, those piercing, golden eyes, held no malice, only determination. He knelt beside her, his movements swift but careful. "Can you stand?" he asked, his voice low and gravelly. Kaela stared at him, her mind racing. Why did you help me?" "No time for questions," he said, slinging her arm over his shoulders. "We need to move. More will come." She wanted to argue, to demand answers, but her body was too weak. She leaned on him as he helped her to her feet, and together they stumbled away from the battlefield. The Xal'thari moved with purpose, navigating the ruins with an ease that suggested he knew the area well. Kaela's vision swam, her strength fading with every step. "Stay with me," he urged, his grip tightening. "You're not dying on my watch." "Who are you?" she managed to ask. "Varek," he replied. "And you're Kaela, aren't you? The human they call the ghost of Terra. I've heard stories about you." She let out a weak laugh. Guess the Dominion's propaganda works both ways. Maybe, he said, a hint of amusement in his voice. But I didn't save you for your reputation. I saved you because you're the only one who can help me. Help you with what? Ending the Dominion. Varek brought her to a hidden bunker, its entrance concealed beneath a pile of rubble. Inside, it was Spartan but functional, stocked with supplies and equipment. He laid her down on a cot, his hands moving quickly to tend to her wounds. Kaela winced as he cleaned the gash on her side, her mind still reeling from everything that had happened. "You're a deserter," she said, her voice weak but accusing. "I'm a traitor," he corrected, his tone matter-of-fact. "There's a difference. Why? Why betray your own kind?" Varek paused, his golden eyes meeting hers. "Because the Dominion isn't my kind. Not anymore. They took everything from me, my family, my home, my honor. I swore I'd make them pay, but I can't do it alone. I need your help." Kaela studied him, searching for any sign of deception. But all she saw was pain and resolve, emotions she knew all too well. "What's your plan?" she asked. "The Dominion's command center is nearby," he said. "If we can destroy it, we can cripple their operations in this sector. But it's heavily guarded. We'll need to move fast and hit hard." Kaela nodded, her determination reigniting. "Then let's get to work." Over the next few hours, they prepared for the mission. Varek shared everything he knew about the command center's layout and defenses, while Kaela devised a plan of attack. Despite their differences, they worked together seamlessly, their shared hatred of the Dominion forging an unspoken bond. As they geared up, Kaela turned to Varek. "If we pull this off, you know they'll hunt us for the rest of our lives." "I know," he said, his voice steady. "But if we don't, they'll keep taking lives. Innocent lives. I can't let that happen." Kaela nodded, her respect for him growing. "Then let's make sure they regret ever crossing us." The assault on the command center was a blur of chaos and carnage. They fought side by side, their movements perfectly synchronized. Kaela's precision and Varek's brute strength made them an unstoppable force, cutting through the Dominion's defenses with ruthless efficiency. But the closer they got to their objective, the heavier the resistance became. Finally, they reached the control room, its doors sealed shut. Varek planted explosives on the door, his hands steady despite the gunfire raining down around them. "Ready?" he asked, his voice barely audible over the din. "Ready," Kaela replied, her finger hovering over the detonator. The explosion tore through the door, sending shrapnel flying. They charged inside, their weapons blazing. The Dominion officers inside didn't stand a chance. Within moments, the room was theirs. "Set the charges," Varek ordered, tossing her a pack of explosives. "I'll cover you." Kaela worked quickly, her hands moving with practiced ease. As she placed the final charge, she heard Varek cry out. She turned to see him fall, a Dominion soldier standing over him with a smoking weapon. "No," she screamed, firing a shot that dropped the soldier. She rushed to Varek's side, her hands pressing against the wound in his chest. "It's done," he said, his voice weak but triumphant. "The Dominion, they'll pay." "Don't talk," she urged, tears streaming down her face. "We'll get you out of here." He shook his head, his golden eyes locking onto hers. "Finish it, Kaela. For both of us."